Hi, today I'd like to provide a word study on the rejoice word family. This word and this topic has been so very important for me. I just finished up a book called Joyous Encounters, Discovering the Happy Affections in Luke Acts. So let's get started here. We have the verb chairo that means I rejoice. The related noun he chara that means joy. Let me introduce this with a quote by Jürgen Moltmann. Joy is the meaning of human life. Joy in thanksgiving, and thanksgiving is joy. In a way, this answer abolishes the intention of such questions. For what purpose has man been created? For what purpose am I here? For the answer doesn't indicate ethical goals and ideal purposes, but it justifies created existence as such. I make the case, and I always want to argue, that God is a God of great joy who wills joy for his people. Let me suggest this to you, that joy is an emotion of elation over something good that's happened, is happening, or will happen. As an emotion, joy has an object. For example, Luke refers to a healed Samaritan leper who's overjoyed at his healing. He's no longer an outcast. He's set free. He returns to Jesus to give thanks to God and to Jesus for his healing. It's something he has to do. There were 10 lepers that were healed on the way, but this one leper, an outcast, returns to express his joy and thanksgiving to God and Jesus. And this then leads to Jesus' agonized question. Weren't there 10? Where are the other 9? Now, many scholars, and let me say also pastors, draw a misleading distinction between joy and happiness. An inner joy or an outward happiness, or a religious joy and a secular joy. These divisions can minimize, trivialize, or even delete the emotional content of joy. The truth is, emotions are where we really live, and they're vital aspects of our very being. Indeed, our emotions are part of what it means to be created in the image and likeness of God. Let me say this. The Bible makes no such false distinctions between joy and happiness. The fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5 contains joy in its list. Joy is an emotion that's felt in a community context. Some of the uses of chairo and he chara, I rejoice, I'm glad. The astrologers from the east, having seen the star, rejoiced a joy great exceedingly. Now notice the words here. Echarisan, charan. So they rejoiced a joy. Megalein is great, and then we have sphadra on the end, exceedingly. The words pile up. Paul says, for what thanksgiving are we able to pay back to God concerning you for all the joy with which we rejoice? Passe is all, and then we have the noun te chara, and then the verb, chairomen. It's as if Paul says, we can't even begin to express what we feel. Words fail us. Now, often the object or reason for the joy is given, often with a because clause. For example, to the aged Zechariah, with the promise of a son, there shall be joy for you, and exuberant or expressive joy. There's another word that belongs to the joy word family. And many in his generations will rejoice. That's the future. So look at those words there. John the Baptist, the one who has the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom, like a best man who stands and hears him, rejoices with joy. Here's a noun with the verb, because of the bridegroom's voice. Therefore, this joy which is mine. We have a possessive adjective here. All right. Hey, chara te eme. The joy which is mine has been fulfilled. It's in a completed condition. And there's the use of the perfect tense there. Sometimes there's a joy that's a joy in spite of. They, the apostles, went forth from the presence of the Sanhedrin rejoicing, chirantes, that's a participle, because they were counted worthy to be abused for the name. Now, in Luke 15, let me say that joy reigns supreme in the entire chapter. In the context of the first couple verses, we have the religious leaders who are accusing Jesus for his table fellowship with the religious outcasts. He eats, dines, has table fellowship with them. And there's a religious critique. And so we have Jesus tell 3 parables in succession, each of which answers the religious charge that Jesus is having table fellowship with the wrong kinds of people. And each one of the 3 parables is climaxed by joy. It's a joy that is spontaneous, and it's a joy that's contagious. It's a joy that must be shared. So we find here the new union between the heavens and the earth, with the celebrations of the one that spill over into the celebrations of the other. Joy on earth is eclipsed by joy in heaven. So in the first parable, chara en to urano, joy in heaven. In the second one, chara en opion ton angelon tu theou, joy in the presence of God's angels. And then the manifest and contagious joy of the Father, who surely represents God as Father. These 3 parables point to joy in heaven, joy in the presence of angels, and the joy of the Heavenly Father, the joy of the eschaton that is also the joy of the present, seen in Jesus' table fellowship with the wrong kinds of people. So in Luke 15, Jesus is saying to the religious critics, what I'm doing here with the wrong kinds of people is an occasion of the greatest joy and is to be met with joy, not with religious critique. We find in Philippians the verb and noun occur so frequently. The verb, chairo, occurs 11 times, and the noun, chara, joy, 5 times. And there are many other related terms to the joy word family. And part of this is bound up with Paul's expression of appreciation to the Philippians for their financial gifts to him. In chapter 1, Paul says, Christ is being preached, and in this I rejoice. And then again, I will rejoice, future. Chapter 2, but even if I'm being poured out like a drink offering on the sacrifice and service coming from your faith, I rejoice. And then he says, I rejoice with. Now here's the preposition sun that's attached to the verb. Rejoice with, all of you. So you too should rejoice. And here's the verb, chairata, and then we have a compound verb again, sun chairata, rejoice with me. So I trust that this brief word study has made you feel joyous and happy. The gospel is good news, and it's to be met with a response of great joy.